Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow. Well, it's not too hot and it's not too cool. Just like perfect. It is something else. Nice out here today. Guys, things are just going crazier and crazier by the day. So this morning I'm reading an article that was talking about the Bank of England. That just yesterday they have now decided that they are going to expand their bond buying spree and literally put this thing into hyperdrive. So what's going on? Well, the gilt market over there, with the bond market, is literally imploding. And so what they're trying to do is they are trying to come in and shore this thing up and be the biggest buyer of bonds like crazy. And now they're going to even buy bonds that are tied to indexes. And so you are watching right before your very eyes the total implosion of the British economy. I mean, it is truly scary. And if they don't do this, you're going to watch the whole thing unravel in real time, and it is going to be bad. Guys, the fact of the matter is that they're doing this anyway is bad. And it sounds like when we come on and we talk about these issues that we're just a broken record because it's the same song over and over and over again. And the reality is, guys, they're trying to fix the disease. They're trying to cure the disease with the very thing that caused the infection in the first place. When you see them out there buying up this bond market, ask yourself, well, where is this liquidity coming from? Well, it's coming literally from the Bank of England as the issuer of the currency, where they're just churning it out. What's that going to result in? Well, obviously, that's going to have an impact in the economy. You're going to see runaway inflation like crazy. And when you see runaway inflation, what happens, guys? Interest rates rise. When interest rates rise, how does that affect the debt market? Obviously, the 10-year yield starts spiking. And when that happens, the markets actually become crushed. They are crippled by it. And I'm telling you, and then it's just a no-win situation. They're back to buying more debt and more debt. And here we are in this situation. A few months back, look, I was on this channel talking about this whole debt buying spree, and people are like, no, they're not doing that. I said, yes, they are doing it because you can see it in the figures. And now they're coming right out and telling folks that they're doing it. And they have no other choice. But the end result is going to be the total, utter collapse of this economy into a new economy. They are going to have no choice but to do it. And they're destroying the average folks' purchasing power. This is how governments, guys, reach into your pocket and they're taxing you without actually having you file a return and get taxed, and they're stealing your dollars. Why? Because they're destroying your purchasing power, and they are inflating the situation intentionally. This is the government's greatest temptation. They're inflating their way out of this, or attempting to inflate their way out of this scenario, and it's not going to work, guys. It is going to cause an absolute implosion. And what we're seeing right now, especially here in America, we're seeing this runaway inflation. But at the same time, we're watching real world assets completely start to deflate. And when you get that kind of divergence, you are literally talking about the perfect storm. And it is really going to be bad. Now, I know folks don't want to hear it. In fact, I don't even like to come out and say it. But those are the realities. Look, another article I was reading just today was that in Europe, the EU, a lot of these European countries that are going to be facing probably one of the toughest winters they have ever faced, folks are out buying wood-burning stoves to the point that there's barely any to buy. And if you haven't got one already, you're probably not going to get one. So, professional chimney sweeps have come out and said, we're getting calls from people asking us if it would do damage to their in-house fireplace if they burn horse manure. Can you believe that, guys? You have got people right now considering the fact of burning horse manure in Europe in order to stay warm this winter. I'm telling you, that boggles my mind. We are talking about some levels of industrial powers. And this report came out of Germany. I'm telling you, Germany has probably one of the strongest economies in Europe, and it has been an industrial power for years. And yet you're seeing these stories come out of Germany that literally they defy explanation. And I have to hold these politicians, I think all of us need to hold a lot of them accountable for the predicament that they have put these people in. And it's the rank and file that suffer, guys. I'm not here just to poo-poo on politicians and blah, 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 because, hey, they're easy targets. Let's be honest. Anyone can get on and, poo-poo this guy or jump all over that guy or what. But the reality is, I don't care what side of the aisle these guys are from, they literally sold these people such a bill of goods that they would be going out. Give me a second here. I better slow down. That they would be going out and getting all of their power from adversaries. And now you're in such an international conflict over this whole Russia-Ukraine deal that it has literally put their own people in peril, truly, in jeopardy, in real peril. And it is an ugly situation unfolding. My heart really is going to go out to these folks because it's going to be bad. And with the economy that it is now, with all these things that they're doing, and they're doing the same thing here in the U.S. Don't kid yourself. Federal Reserve is going to go out there and they're going to start buying up the bond market here. And it is going to end up in catastrophe. Now, that's what they want, by the way. I really do believe that. I don't think there's any way that they're just, oh, well, we had to do this and this and this, and they're just knee-jerk, responding to this baloney. Not a chance. Look, any real economist could look down the road and see, hey, if I do this, this, and this, well, then this is going to happen. Look, I could put a 6-pack of beer or a 24-pack of beer out here in front of me. Now, I know if I start drinking one, by the time I get through all 24, I'm going to be hammered. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that you start buying up and printing money like it's going out of style. There we go, pool guy starting up, so... But if you start printing money like it's going out of style, that it's not going to result with a massive inflationary result, which, by the way, is going to have massive impacts in the economy. The cost of goods are going to go up. So, when you got all these retailers that are bringing in all these goods, well, cost of goods, cost of shipping, cost of whatever, everything is just going up, up, and up. And so as a result, what happens? Well, they ended up having to raise the prices of all their goods and services. Well, your purchasing power has been diminished while the prices of those things have been raised. What happens there? Well, you stop buying, right? You stop buying as much. You start to think, well, maybe I don't need this right now. I can go a few more months without it, blah, blah, blah. What are the impacts with that? Well, not as many sales for the services and goods. Hey, got to lay some folks off. It's just it's a domino effect that ends up in disaster. And that's what you've got going on here. Now, having said that, guys, also read that the Bank of India, Reserve Bank of India or whatever it is now doing this CBDC pilot to launch their central bank digital currency very soon. And we know that India is ready to go all the way digital right quick. Well, who has opened up a new office in Mumbai? You guessed it, Ripple. Guys, connect the dots. You can see the handwriting on the wall, as it were, and we can see what's going on down the road. They're going to implode this current economy. They're opening up the digital economy is going to come in. It's going to be, they're getting their great reset. Whether we like it, whether we agree with it or we don't, it's coming. And we just have to be as prepared as we can for it. I'm trusting my life in God's hands. Look, I don't pray to my Father who art in Washington, D.C., I'll tell you that. And, I think it's just wisdom to put yourself in a position where you can weather some storms, because the storm is coming. It's here already. And to deny it is just taking your head and burying it right out there in your garden, because the reality is it's here. And we can only do the best we can do to get through it and to encourage one another, number one. And build a community of people that are willing to help one another. Being prepared and having yourself some supplies on hand and being a hand to help out your neighbor in this situation is probably the very best that we can do. And economically, getting out of this fiat system and putting ourselves in a position where we can hedge our bets and benefit from this new digital system, to me, those are the actions that are going to bring about the greatest result. And I'm telling you, you cannot hurt yourself by being prepared for circumstances like what we're going through. And it's not about creating fear or whatever. Hey, look, it is not a fear-mongering tactic to come out there if the house is on fire, say, hey, the house is on fire, right? Well, then you get a hose, man. You get a bucket. You start doing what you can do, and then you call for help. And that's what we got to do. We've got to call for help. We've got to help one another, and we got to help ourselves. And that's just the way it is. And no one wants to live through times like this. That's a fact. Nobody wants that. But the fact is, this is where we are, and we buck up. And, we come from a generation, those of us in my generation, look, we're can-doers. We're not people that are, oh my goodness, biting our nails. No, we're going to start taking care of ourselves. I don't need the government to come and rescue me. I don't want the government to come and rescue me. I want my Father to rescue me, number one. And number two, I want to use what he's given me to really help my family, help my neighbors, help my friends, help myself. That's my take on it. Anyway, that's a lot. Anyway, guys, I hope that you have a great day. And we will touch base later on this afternoon with our XRP week. And don't forget, this coming Saturday is going to be our first live stream celebrating that milestone of 5,000 subs. And I really appreciate each and every one of you helping us to get there. So until later on today, have a good one and take care.